If you had to guess, Amy Kay, they surveyed a whole bunch of like middle-aged people, and they said, looking back on your life so far, what decade of their life do you think that they had the most regrets from?
I don't know. I mean, I would say like when you're a teenager or you're in your 20s, I did a lot of dumb things.
So one of those is right, and it's the 20s. They surveyed people, and they found that, well, there are plenty of people that have some regrets, and most of them happened approximately 11 plus years ago, and they found that nobody had more regrets in any other decade than one specifically, their 20s. That's when they seemed to feel like they made the worst decisions. A lot of those were like first marriages, that kind of stuff, either going to college or not going to college, a lot of romantic stuff and career stuff. A lot of people said they were disappointed they didn't travel more, things like this. This is the question. What is the thing you regret most from your younger years? Doesn't have to specifically be the 20s, but you look back at young you and you regret that you did or didn't do this. Do you live with regrets, Amy Kay?
Not really, but this is something that I've regretted, and I've actually been able to kind of fix this. But when I was younger in my 20s, I would shave my eyebrows.
I mean, you seem to have some now.
Because you know why? Now that I'm pregnant, I told myself, don't shave your eyebrows. And so I was able to go get them waxed yesterday. I got them waxed and tinted, and they look like eyebrows now. They look good again. And I kind of, in my 20s, would get them waxed, but then in between, I would shave them. And it was almost like something I couldn't, like I pick my lips or I pop pimples. You know you're not supposed to do these things, but you can't help yourself. And that's how it was with shaving my eyebrows, where the girl who does my eyebrows would say, you need to stop doing that. Let it grow out so I can fix them. And finally, this year, I let them grow out. And yesterday, she was able to fix them. And I said, I'm so happy. And she said, this is the best your eyebrows have ever looked.
You know what? I didn't want to say anything, but when you walked in this morning, I thought to myself, I can't quite put my finger on it, but I have never seen such pristine, majestic, full, powerful eyebrows.
I'm so happy you didn't say bushy because I thought that's where you're going. They're not bushy.
Perfectly.
They're shaped. They're cleaned. I got them tinted a little bit. Steven says they're a little too dark right now, but that's just because we just dyed them yesterday, okay?
No, they're premier eyebrows. Some
Thank
of the
you.
best eyebrows I've ever seen.
I know when my mom was younger, back in the day, she overplucked. And she always said that was a regret she had. She made hers too thin. I just shaved them, and then they would come back weird and scratchy and like sandpaper, and I had to then keep up with it. Finally, I said, I don't care. Let it grow all jacked up. And then I got them waxed.
Let them grow. Let them grow.
Exactly.
What is something you regret from your younger years back in the day? Maybe you got a whole series of regrets. Could be either way. Call, text, 237. Oh, man, pick one. I think I probably should have shaved my head a couple years earlier than I did. I was pretending like I had hair I didn't have. Should have just shaved that off. Completely, this is going to be the most common one we get, but I had a completely unnecessary first marriage that didn't need to happen. Should have just not done that. But my parents, they went to school and then they got married. And then I was like, oh, that's what you do. So I did the same thing. And just because that's who I was with at the time. And that was a dumb thing to do.
Which one do you think was more dumb, your head or the marriage?
Oh, definitely that one.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely that one.
Just because the order you put them in.
Yeah, definitely that one.
Okay.
Both were dumb. Maybe probably learned something from that experience, I suppose, at least. But I probably didn't learn anything from hanging on to hair.
What about the car you had when I first moved here? Do you think that is something, are you happy with that choice of car you had? Or do you think, was that the best choice of car to drive in Fargo?
It was the best choice
North
of car.
Dakota.
It's a Challenger, and I miss her every day. There's another regret for you. Should have never traded it in for that minivan.
That's not what I was trying to get to.
It was one. I'm not sure I've made a wiser purchase in my life than that sports car.
I remember when I came here for my interview, you had to pick me up at my hotel, and it was snowing.
Yeah.
There was snow on the ground, snow coming on the side of the road, and we slid a little bit. And it was a little scary.
Kill me.
And I thought, is this the best car? Is this the best person they sent to pick me up?
You know what? I was the only one that took the job, man.
Thanks.
Only one willing to do it. And if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out in style. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Oh, my gosh.
You'll regret from back in the day. You got some coming in through text.
Yeah, all right. Someone said, staying in an unhealthy relationship, trying to convince myself that she was the one, definitely wasn't. Someone else said, not taking care of my dental health. When I was younger, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Now that I'm older, I realize it's something you need to take care of.
What is that regret you have from back in the day? You look back and maybe it's your teen years, maybe it's your 20s, and you're like, oh, golly, why'd I even do that?
Fargo Moorhead's #1 morning show, the Y94 Morning Playhouse.
Well, hopefully you don't have a ton of regrets, but maybe there's something you look back at the 20s, early 30s, teenage years. You're like, oh man, why did I even make this dumb decision? What is that regret that every once in a while you're like, if only I hadn't done this, or if only I had done this? It's the Y94 Morning Playhouse. You can call or text 237. It's some similar stuff, a lot of love life stuff, financial stuff.
Yeah, someone said not buying a house when I was in elementary school. I agree with you there. Someone else said not working out until I had kids. And someone else said stopped wearing my retainer. Now my teeth are all jacked up again and I don't have my parents to fix them.
You got something like, oh man, I regret this from back in the day. Yeah, okay, never mind. How about you? I regret she didn't stay on hold. You got one of these?
Okay, I'm with one of the things with Amy K. I am totally with you with about the eyebrows.
Shaving them?
No, well, unfortunately, mine were in the 90s and they were wax.
Okay.
So they're still trying to get back to being good. You
Grow
know?
them back.
Yeah. But my major one is I wish I would have started saving earlier.
Oh, saving money?
Yeah.
This is so stupid, and it's totally just my ears. At first, I thought you said bathing, not saving.
Stop.
And I'm like, man, why were you refusing to bathe? Saving makes way more sense.
Yes, saving money for like retirement and stuff earlier.
There you go. That thing you regret from back in the day, you look back and like that. The 20s seems to be the one that people have the most regrets from. You're like, oh, man, if only I could relive that, I would not make this dumb decision, or I would absolutely do this thing I refuse to do. What do we see in ABK?
I mean, similar to that caller, a lot of people saying saving for my retirement. Someone else said working too hard. I feel like I wasted a lot of my youth trying to hustle, get a good job. Sometimes you just need to stop and smell the roses. And someone else said being too focused studying in school, didn't really go out and have fun or meet a lot of girls or friends. I ended up not even using what I was studying for my career.
You got a regret from like the 20s or just back in the day in general?
Well, I got married pretty young and I had kids young. So I've only really been with one guy, and I feel like I regret not having dated more people. I mean, I love my husband, but I just never really had that, bachelorette life experience.
Just every once in a while, you're like, man, I wonder what that walk of shame would have been like.
Yeah, but I just feel like, there's a curiosity. I'm very happy in my life.
Must be a little bit of that Midwest work ethic reeking through some of these, because we've had a shocking amount of people who are like, you know what? I wish I was like less responsible. I wish I would have went crazier, because now I can't anymore.
I feel that's the opposite of mine. I was a little too crazy.
Would you have toned it down? Would you change any of it for the world, though? Of course
I wouldn't.
not.
Absolutely not. Someone else said I'm still in my mid-20s, but I regret dropping out of college instead of just finishing it. Now I'm having a hard time getting the money to go back, and I feel like I'm just struggling in general.
And that thing, you just kind of regret it from back in the day.
Oh, well, we don't even have time to go into all of that. But I would have to say, most of the people that I chose to date and, why did I waste time? And maybe I shouldn't have drunk so much beer. I mean, so many things. Some were bad boys and some were just so immature. And, I mean, I guess that's not really surprising, but it was just, I look back and I think, how could I have gone out with that person? How did I spend even 1 hour with him?
Yeah. So just every once in a while, you look at that old Rolodex, the little black book, and you're like, okay, this could have had about half as many names in it, I guess.
Yeah, what was wrong with me?
You know what, though? If you could just have swapped lives with the last person that called, she wanted a taste of that, and you wanted a taste of responsibility.
See, but now this is what someone else in the text clip said, and I agree with it. They regret nothing because they have learned valuable lessons, and it's made them a great woman, who they are today, great life, great job, great family. And that's what I think it is.
Yeah, even the worst things you kind of build off of, right? You learn from them. And the grass isn't always greener, too. I think some of these things you're like, I wish I did that. No, you don't.
I mean, I still stand by, I wish I didn't shave my eyebrows, because 100%. It really messed with my luck.
Were they, pretty wild there when you first got into that, or?
Were my eyebrows out of control?
Yeah, did you have a couple of like squirrels living on your face, or what are we talking?
No, I would get them waxed, and then I constantly going and getting them waxed and stuff. And I thought, you know what? I could do this at home. I knew wax would be messy. So then I just tried shaving them. And then I would just constantly do that, which is not good. And then I would try to wax them again, and the people would know, and they'd be like, you have to let your hair grow out again. And so I tried stopping, and then I would do it all over again. And then I would get them really thin, really, really bad.
Tell you what, because we're pals, I think I like to think I keep a pretty decent beard here. I'll just bring in my razor every couple of weeks, and I'll just I'll keep it good.
My eyebrows?
Yeah, it'll be fine.
I literally just grew them and got them fixed yesterday.
It'll be fine.
It
I got
hasn't
this.
even been 24 hours.
I got this.
Please no.
When would we be due again?
I don't use like a type razor either. Right before Thanksgiving, I have another appointment. I'm going to go. Boop.
You know what? Wednesday. Blackout Wednesday. I got it.
Please no.
It'll be fine. It'll be good.
Here's what's coming up next